Hi everyone, it's Grant here at the New You Plan, and I'm joined by the lovely Maria Murphy. How are you, Maria?
I'm good, Grant. Very good, thank you.
Good to hear. Maria, thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview with me. We've really been looking forward to getting the chance to do this with you.
No problem. You're
And
welcome.
thank you. And what we'll do then is, where I'll start off, if you don't mind me asking, Maria, is for all the folks listening in, how much is it that you've actually lost with the New You Plan?
At this moment in time, 3 stone.
So you've lost 3 stone. That's amazing. And do you mind me asking how long it took you to do that, Maria?
Well, I started back on the New Year plan at the end of February, and then I had a planned break to Barcelona in March, and that was kind of one of my reasons for starting it. So I did it February, most through March, and then went off it and started back again at the end of April.
Absolutely. But that's still a fantastic weight loss in that amount of time. And I suppose then, if you don't mind me asking, Maria, what that meant in terms of where did you start and where have you actually ended up and how much further have you got left to your goal?
Okay. Well, when I started, I was 13 stone, 2 pounds.
Right.
Kind of, in the first month or so before I went to Barcelona, I lost 1.5 stone, but I had given myself a goal of 10 stone to get to, and I reached that about 2 weeks ago. But now I've just decided to push myself a little bit further, and I was hoping to get to about 9 for Christmas. So
Yes.
I'm still happy that I'm at my goal, but I kind of just wanted to push myself that a little bit further.
Yes, I had seen that, and we're all rooting for you. We know you can do it. You're definitely going to get there.
I hope to.
So the photos are fantastic.
Thank you.
And I suppose then for anyone as well, because sometimes it just doesn't quite click until you talk about sizes. Do you mind me asking what that's meant for you from where you started to where you are now?
Yeah, of course, no problem. I would have been a 16, 18 when I started. Like I would have been a 16, but I always kind of bought clothes a little bit bigger because I was so conscious of my weight that I always bought them a bit bigger, which is probably not the best idea because then you end up fitting into the bigger clothes. But yeah, I would have been about a 16, 18, and at the moment now I'm in a loose size 12, and that's the happiest I've ever been. I couldn't have ever imagined getting to a size 12, and now my size 12s fit me perfectly. Like, I'm just over the moon with that.
Yes, we are very, very proud of you that you've absolutely, you've blitzed it. You've blown us away.
I have literally, I'd say about 3 weeks ago, cleared out my wardrobe and got rid of all my old clothes. Ended up filling up about 2 bags. I used to always keep clothes that were too small for me, saying that I'd get back into them. But now that I have clothes that are too big, I don't plan on getting back into them. So they got bagged up and went to a charity shop.
Yes, best thing to do. Banish it into history forever.
Definitely. Try and fit into the smaller ones, but definitely don't try to get back to the bigger ones.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I suppose for me then, we've looked at why you started, when you started, and how much you've lost. So the next question would be why you started.
My honest answer is I have a friend that did this. She did an interview with you as well. Her weight loss was amazing as well, and I had seen her pictures and couldn't get over it. So I organised to go down and meet her to have a chat. She talked to me about it. I mean, I've done loads of different diets like Weight Watchers and stuff like that, but I think the reason why I knew you worked for me is because there was a routine, and I'm better with a routine. But as I said, when I called down to her, she talked me through it, and I couldn't get over the results that she had gotten, so I said that I would give it a go. And it was just words that stuck in my head that she said to me, and like, we would have been friends, we went out together the whole lot, but I remember her saying to me that she just got to the point where enough is enough. And they're the words that just stuck in my head. I've moaned for so long of my adult life about my weight and not being happy and being miserable about it. And I don't know what it was about that. Enough is enough kind of stuck in my head. And I thought, yeah. And when I did the first week on it, as hard as it was to get through the first 4 days, after the 4 days, I was grand, not a bother, amazing, loads of energy. But it was the standing on the scales on day 8 and seeing the difference that just totally spurred me on. And thank God I haven't looked back since.
That's fantastic. And there was a few things that you said there that really interested me, and I'd like to maybe discuss them a little bit more, if that's
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, the first one was when your friend said to you, you reach a point where enough is enough, and that's stuck with you.
Yeah.
And I agree, and that's something I see in so many people. It's like a snapping point,
Yeah. Definitely.
and it's amazing how just literally in the course of literally it's a day.
Yeah.
You just one day you make that choice, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I suppose what I was hoping to look into a little bit more was what got you to that snapping point. What was it, you know,
I think
what were the things that you wanted to change?
of basically stuff like it just I was never. I always thought that I was a person that didn't like shopping. I've realised I do like shopping, but with me, when I was that size, I hated going out looking for stuff. I would always get upset when I tried things on, go into the changing rooms, was never happy about the way I looked, was never happy in myself. Got to the point where sometimes I didn't even really go out because I was like, oh no, I look too big in this, I look too big in that. I was just miserable. And then it turns into a cycle where it's like, okay, well, if I'm not going to go out, I'll just sit in and eat, and, which was making it worse. And I have
Mm.
never in my adult life been on a sun holiday. I never went with the girls because I was like, there's no chance in hell I'm going to get into a bikini. I have a little boy now, and that was it. It was just not being able to be happy in myself, but constantly moaning about it, that I just thought nothing is going to change unless I actually do something about it. So
Mm.
I think it just snapped in my head that I just said, like, what is the point to just spend every single day giving out and moaning when nobody's going to change it but me?
Mm. So it's kind of like you get to the point where you can't even listen to the voice in
No,
your own head anymore.
exactly. And I couldn't. And I was sick of not being comfortable in my own body but not doing anything about changing it. So it's like, there's no point in moaning, Maria, unless you actually get up off your bum and do it. Uh-huh.
And you did.
And I
And you
did.
did.
And I couldn't, and like I said, now shopping, oh my God, I only just wish I had the money to shop every day, because the difference it makes just walking into a shop, like shops before that, some shops you can't even get a size 16 or an 18. And the thoughts, I'm actually picking up size 12 now, going into the changing rooms and shocked at looking at what's back in the mirror. And it's just, I have to say, the greatest feeling,
Mm.
as in back to
And
February.
fantastic. I really love hearing that part of people's stories in terms of the journey, and for you it's just been an epic
Yeah,
affair altogether.
yeah.
And the one thing also, because there was two things I wanted to pick up on. The second one, and I apologize because I think it might have been me that missed it.
Mhm.
You said you made it through the week, and it was what happened on day 8 on the scales
Yeah.
that's what sealed the deal for you. Do you mind me asking again how much it was that you lost in week 1, if you remember?
Yeah, I do. Week 1 was £9. And then
£9.
week 2 ended up being exactly 5. So I got to a stone in 2 weeks and was just over the moon. I thought, if I can achieve something like that in 2 weeks, I remember the elation and thinking, oh my God, the possibilities are endless. I definitely will get to that 10 stone. Because I remember thinking when I started, oh God, it's so, like, 3
Mm.
stone just seemed so daunting to me, until I lost 1 full stone in 2 weeks. And I just thought, oh my God, it's so possible. And
Yes.
I think, honestly, the only advice I'd have to people starting out is, I don't think I should have looked at how far I had to get. I should have just taken it, each day as it came, instead of, like, at the start I kept thinking, oh my God, 3 stone, I'm never going to lose that. But I think if you just keep your goal focused, it is so
Mm.
easy to do on the New You plan. But it was the first 2 weeks I'm actually losing that full stone that I thought, this is so possible.
That was the turning point.
Yeah, exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly. And it made me more focused then, and it just, I was happy to not go out and turn down things, because I was in that mindset that it was like, no, I'm finally actually, I'd say after about 12 years, doing something about my weight. I'm going to stick to it now. So like I said,
Uh,
I know I said I started back in February and I've been on and off and on and off, but I just kept that 10 stone in my mind and thought, I'm not going to stop until I get there.
exactly. And that has worked so well for you, and that's even in my own mindset. I can completely see where you're coming from, because it does. At the beginning of a diet,
And so,
without seeing the results, It is, and it always seems about the things that you're giving up because you
Mhm.
can't see what you're gaining yet, and it's
Exactly. Yeah, and that's another brilliant thing that I loved about the new you, because the results are so fast within the first week, like as opposed to every other thing I did. I would have been a kind of throw in the towel person. When I don't start seeing results, it was like, oh God, no, I'm never going to get there. And then the cycle starts again, and it's like, oh no, I'll just do this or I'll just do that. I'll start next week.
mm,
I'll start next Monday. But I think it's that lovely little kickstart that you get on the new you in your first week that really spurs you on, and then you're not thinking about what you're giving up. You're like exactly what you said. You're thinking about what you're gaining. It's like, oh my God,
mm,
I'm actually getting there.
absolutely. And then again, just one thing, because there was a snippet there that I saw that I just want to go back to because it was really exciting. It was that turning point when you realized you could do this.
Mhm.
And there's a question I'd like to ask from that perspective, which is, in that moment when you thought, yes, this is something achievable, I'm going to do this. Do you mind me asking what were the things that ran through your mind that you thought, I want to be able to do this, this, and this? So whatever it may have been, whether it was to do with fitness, social events, clothing, because that was something that you had already mentioned,
Mm.
just what maybe crossed your mind and what you thought, yes, this is something I can now do.
Fitness would be a huge thing at the moment now. On the first couple of months of the New You plan, I didn't really exercise that much, but the more I left, or the more I did it, like it actually has become a bit of a lifestyle for me now. I have joined classes. I go to boxercise and kettlebells every single week, and I enjoy it. I love it.
Mm,
Now and again, if I have a chance, if my his dad isn't in work, I'll go for a run in the park. But it's it's maintaining it now for me. It's like it's taken me so long to get here. Like I said, my whole adult life I was probably a size 16, 18. It's taken me so long to get here that I'm determined not to be that old person. I don't want to go back to being
mm,
miserable. So it was the new you and helping me lose the weight that has now made me turn it into a lifestyle. I now exercise every single week. Like it is
okay.
important to me, do you know what I mean? That I maintain this happy feeling that I have now
Uh,
and not go back
uh,
to that miserable person. But even stuff like work dues, never used to go to them. I go all the time now because not wanting to sound fat-headed or anything, but I'm sure a lot of the other ladies and gentlemen on the plan, the compliments that you get within the first few months of losing that weight, it's another thing that spurs you on. Like
mm.
when people start noticing the change in you as much as you do, it's just, it doesn't make me want, it makes me just never want to go back.
Exactly, and that's something, I think those effects, because of how profound they are in the space of time,
Mm.
it it really gives you that kick that's going to last the longest time possible. It's not a gradual, tedious thing. It's something that's just, it's very full on.
Definitely, definitely. I'm even much more energetic now. Even like New You plan aside, as I said, I'm exercising every week, and I love doing it. But it's just like, I know it sounds cliche, but I have the New You to thank for all of this. I feel like a totally different person. Even stuff that I
Mm,
do with my son now, everything. It's just I'm more happy and confident being out there and doing these things than I would have ever been. And I think when you are a kind of a bigger sized person and you're not happy with your weight, I don't know about other people, but I think you just tend to shy away from being out, and I would have sat in more, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse. But the thing that I found brilliant about the new you is because you see the results so quickly, it really does give you that kick up the bum that most
mm.
people need to actually do something about it.
Fantastic. There was one point there, and again, I always say this in my interviews, it's near and dear to me because it's the likes of Ellie, myself, and Lisa that would do our utmost to make sure that you guys get to your goal. So do you mind me asking how you found the support on the new you plan from all the various aspects? I mean, I didn't have too much contact with you in customer services, but I know that Lisa
Yeah.
um,
And
did
Jude,
chat to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have to say, Grant, amazing. And that would have been one of the other things that, if people had said, what do I like about the whole thing so much, and it would have been that Secret Slimmers page. Like, I have never met a nicer bunch of people ever, and it's so supportive. Like, the kind of pictures that I've sent through there, not one of those pictures have gone on Facebook, have gone on anything. It's not the kind of thing that I've shared. But I absolutely loved putting them up on the Secret Slimmers page, because you know that you're dealing with people that are going through the same thing. And I mean, there's some ladies on there that absolutely astound me. And men I've seen as well with the weight that they've lost, like some people 8 and 9 stone and still going. And I just think, wow, serious inspirations. And some of the ladies that I've spoken to, you know, just everybody is in the same boat, whether they have a good bit to lose or a little bit to lose. We all know that we're there for that one reason, and the support is amazing. And there has been a few times, you know, when I put up little comments, oh God, I blipped, or I did this or did that, and everyone's like, oh, come on, you can keep doing it, you can keep doing it. And I just, even though I've never met these people, to me, it's a lot better than, you know, the diets that you do where you go every week and you stand on the scales and they tell you. There's never really that much interaction that I have done through the new you, even though I haven't met any of these people. Like, the support is amazing. Yourself, Lisa, Julie, and Ellie, just these are lovely people. But,
thank you.
And no, you're very welcome. But yeah, I mean, there's a few ladies I could name, but obviously I don't want to name them. But yeah, they astound me more than the results that I've had and still going. And I just think hats off to them all.
And to you. I know you're not saying it there, but your results, as I say, when Lisa came to me and said that you were looking to do an interview, and she'd popped that picture up, because I'd seen some of the other ones, but I actually hadn't seen that before and after, and I was like, woohoo!
That one,
I was so looking forward to it.
That one absolutely shocked me myself. I was going out there a couple of weeks ago, and I put the dress on and I took a picture, and then I was like, I know I have a picture in that dress of a few months back. And then when I put the two of them together, I was like, whoa, like it actually shocked me. And I just thought, it just, when you're actually able to see it side by side, you're wearing the same clothes, it's like, dear God, I have to say, elated. I can't get over the feeling of that, like, you know.
Fantastic. And I suppose the next thing then, Maria, because I hope that these interviews, because you've come so far, and there's never a stage in the game where people stop needing inspiration. So I'm hoping that our existing customers are going to listen to this as well, not just people that are new and want to know what it's all about. So do you mind me asking what your top tips are for staying on track?
I honestly think top tips for staying on track would be to know what you want, and when you are thinking about giving up, to realise why you started in the first place. Nobody starts a diet because, oh sure, we'll just do it for the crack. People start a diet because they're not happy with the way they are, or because they need to get to somewhere else, you know, get that weight off them. So to me, the top tips would be always remember why you started in the first place when you're thinking of quitting. I honestly, as well, pictures for me always helps me. Obviously I had my starting picture that I put up, but I have pictures in my phone that I just look at and think, no, and I don't want to go back to that. That picture again, looking at them side by side, that keeps me going. Again, exercise, maybe not at the start. I didn't as much at the start, but when I started feeling good in myself and seeing the results, then I started exercising. The Secret Slimmers page, definitely. Even if you do feel, oh no, I can't, I'm having a bad day, blah, blah, blah. Anytime I've ever put up a message on there, somebody always gives you that bit of motivation to say, no, don't do it, you'll be happier tomorrow. My other tip would have been when I would have taken breaks, and this still now is what I do. When I did take breaks, I got to a point where I got to 11 stone, and I think my hardest part was to get from the 11 to the 10. I kept messing around, being silly, you know, not sticking to it properly, but I have a scales in my room, and I always, that 154 is 11 stone, and if I seen it even going over that by 155, I was like, right, that's back into it tomorrow. And to me, it was not allowing it to get past a certain point. It was off for a run, it was back onto my shakes and soups for a week instead of the meals. But yeah, and then I just put my whole heart into it, got to 10 stone, and I'm still going to use that tip of, I don't want to see that scales going up. Once it goes up, then that's it. I need to get that kick up the bum again.
Absolutely.
But that's how I did it. Just don't let it get past a certain point.
Absolutely. You put that stick in the sand and you say, right, there's no going past that point again.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's behind me. I may not move further forward at this point in leaps and bounds, but I'm never going back past that marker.
That's it. It's that marker I give on. My marker was always 11 stone. Now at the moment that marker is 10, and I just don't allow myself to get past that again.
Fantastic. Right. Well, Maria, the next thing then that I'd really, really like to look into, because that's really a massive boost for anyone that's on the plan and trying to stick on track. But again, this is now more for people who might just be coming into it.
Okay.
Do you mind me asking what your daily routine was, firstly on TFR and then secondly on refeed?
When I first started, as I said, it was my friend that was on it, and I had kind of called down to her, and she had told me, you know, what ones she liked the best. But when I started off, it would have been the 3 products a day when I started, and my routine was always shake in the morning, and I always had the vanilla or a chocolate shake with a spoonful of coffee. So that's every morning. That was my breakfast. Then when I came home from work, I usually had, like, say, the spicy spaghetti or the chili or something like that. And then I was a big person for a snack in the evening or a hot chocolate. So that was always what I did when I lost the first 1.5 stones. It was always shake, meal, hot chocolate or a snack that evening. And then obviously my 3 or 4 litres of water. Then I remember when I came back from Barcelona and I started back again in April and I wanted that boost, I remember just doing shakes and soups for a week, you know, to get that good first week loss again. Now I would be, when I did the refeeds then, I always stuck with the shake in the morning for my breakfast and the coffee because it did fill me up and I did always like my morning coffee. So that's always been, I've always done that, the coffee in the morning. But it was then, you know, breast of chicken, bit of broccoli on the side, that kind of stuff when I did the refeeds. But now that I need to get this last stone off, I'm back to shakes and bars in the evening. That's what I do.
Fantastic. Well, that's it. That's what I always try and do with this portion of the interview is just prove how diverse the actual menu plans are. I've seen people that have 2 or 3 meals in a day and a shake, and then other people that, as you say, just shakes and soups for an entire week. So it really is wonderful to hear how everyone's done it and how diverse it is, and indeed how the results just continue to show no matter what way you do it, just so long as you're sticking to the plan.
Yeah. I think the best thing about it is there's so many different meals, different snacks, different bars. Like there's some of them I wouldn't be into at all, but when you actually find the ones that you really like, it's so easy to stick to them because the ones that you like are really tasty. Do you know what I mean? Obviously there's a few that wouldn't be for me, but I know some of the other ladies on the page absolutely adore them. But I mean, when you do find the ones that you like, they're gorgeous. So it's fairly easy to stick to it when you enjoy what you're eating. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. And on that note, which ones are your favorite then, Maria?
Vanilla shake is my favorite. I absolutely adore it. Like, it really has a lovely sweet taste to it, and I do love my spoonful of coffee in the morning. I love the Mexican chili. I like that as well. The bars, seriously, like, even if I wasn't on a diet, I would eat them. They're absolutely delicious. You always think with a diet bar it's going to be a little bit bland, but like the vanilla wafers, the lemon yogurt bars, the chocolate crunch. I do those chocolate crunch, I do put them in the freezer, and then they just seem to last so much longer. I mean, they would be my all-time favourites. I love them. I haven't tried any of the water flavourings or anything like that because I never found it that hard to get the water down. I love water. But I would have always kind of stuck to the same things. It was always my vanilla shakes, my lemon yogurt bars, my pasta carbonara, my Mexican chili. They were my favourite, you know.
Fantastic. Well, Maria, the last question I would have for you then, because this has been absolutely epic, is for anyone who's just thinking of starting out on a TFR, total food replacement diet, what would your word of advice be in a nutshell? In a nutshell,
in 2 words, do it. Seriously.
I like that.
Do it. This might sound awful, and I wouldn't want this to sound wrong, but sometimes, friends that aren't even thinking about dieting or something, I don't want to tell them, come here, have you heard about this new you plan? I really do, because it's just like, my biggest regret of all time is not doing it sooner. It really is. Like, I'm in my 30s now. I spent most of my 20s overweight and miserable about it. And it's just, why didn't I do this sooner? I can't actually get over how easy it actually was when I did it and stuck to it. And my only advice to people would be, do it. If you are in the mindset at the moment where you are unhappy about your weight or you want to do something about it, seriously, just do it. It's
Fantastic.
so worth it.
Yes, I can vouch for that as well.
Yes.
Well, that is super, Maria, and I really appreciate you taking the time out. That you had such a fantastic story to tell, and I've loved every moment of this interview. I'm so sad it is going to have to come to an end, but I'm sure we will get the chance to chat again soon.
No problem.
And
in your words, epic, Grant, epic.
Epic. I've been tagged by that as that being my catchphrase by everyone.
Grant's catchphrase, epic. Okay.
Epic.
I enjoyed it too. Thank you.
No, thank you, Maria, and I will catch up with you soon. Have a lovely evening.
You too, Grant. Bye-bye. See ya.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.